Well, I mean, we would have shared our manifesto in two halves: our achievements and the restructuring second half. Of course, we will have to make changes. We will look at specifically administration, coaching, refereeing, and the technical aspect. Hall Grimson would have already made an impact. And when we went for Hall Grimson, it was with one sole intention: to get us to the World Cup in 2026. Raymond Grant will come on as a vice president with responsibility for administration. And we know that we have had shortcomings in this regard. So he will be tasked with the responsibility of probably restructuring the entire administrative arm of the JFF. Speed, of course, will bring his wealth of knowledge to technical. We certainly will make adjustments in that regard. From a fiscal perspective, and we have a lot to gloat about in this regard, because we inherited a JFF that was close to $300 million in the red. We would have owed a lot of that money to the tax department. We have been able to clear most of the principals, and we are now in possession of a tax compliance certificate, something that we have not had for more than a decade. Well, absolutely, there's no question about that, because we were ranked some time ago in the 40s. We need to get back even better than that. We're looking for a ranking of close to 25. But like you said, we have some work to do. We have done very well at the Nations League. We're into the semifinals. I think we'll play the US 21st of March. That could propel us way up on the ranking, the FIFA ranking. We need to beat the US. We need to get to the final. We need to win the Nations League. Having qualified for the Copa America, that certainly would have positive implications on our rankings and certainly on the mindset of those who follow the sport. So these are some of the things that we need to pay serious attention to. And we won't rest on our laurels, because we do have some work to do. But the big picture is getting to the World Cup in 2026. And loyalty, commitment, a strong technical program, and a coach that manages the players. Disappointing, to say the least. I mean, she and I, we do have an excellent relationship. We would have lost tremendous support when Sidela would have walked away. But like she did say to me, she's only a phone call away. So we will certainly talk later on and see what transpired. I know she was a bit dissatisfied with what would have happened with the girls, but not really. But you know what happens? Still have a relationship with her, and she will still make herself available for any discussion. So I'm pretty certain we'll talk later on. It is. But the onus now is on the JFF to find someone who can pump that kind of funding into a women's program. In her state, and we're active in the marketplace, I can tell you. I would never ever agree with any of those comments, because there was a rift and the JFF tried. The JFF would have had a multiplicity of meetings, and most times the girls were adamant, and even some of the accusations, and we have to call them accusations because they were never authentic, like when they repeatedly said that they weren't paid, and we keep asking them, who do we owe? Which one of the players have not been paid? And up to now, we have not gotten a response. It was difficult to compute the numbers, because as the contract was constructed, some players who come off the bench will be paid differently from those who start, from those who played for 3/4 of the game. So it was challenging to compute the numbers. So we were asking them to help us, tell us who are the players that have not been paid, who would have been overpaid. Up to now, we have not got a response. But going forward, we want to embrace our players. We will never entertain a fight with neither the Marlies nor any national unit. So we are intent on restructuring and, of course, repairing that relationship. Well, I mean, persons would say, and that's what perception is about. A lot of persons would know the details, but she was very close to the girls, and she was very, very kind to these girls. She was very intimate with these girls. So she had a passion. So most times, even when they were wrong, she would still embrace them. And I understand that, because even as a parent, sometimes you are overprotective with your kids, and even when they do wrong, you still try to embrace them. But she's been good to us, she's been good to the program, and she will forever be a friend and an ally of mine. No, I mean, we always would lose sponsors. We gain and we lose sponsors, and that's how life is. For whatever reason, sponsors will probably want to shift focus. Sponsors would probably think that they have had enough for whatever reasons. So, I mean, if a sponsor, and let's call her a sponsor now for the purpose of this interview, if she thinks that, well, I've had enough, I mean, I've invested heavily, then there's nothing we can do. But we want to ensure that it is indelibly etched in the mind of every person with an interest in women's football that Sidela Marley has contributed significantly to the growth of women's football. When players decide that you're not playing for your country, it's an indictment on your commitment and your loyalty. And I don't think that they should have done that. But at the same time, if they would have chosen to do so, it is incumbent on us to have these matters settled. But it's a process, and we're working on it, and I'm pretty certain that we'll have it corrected in due time. I think we have shown enough respect for the JFF, and a number of them still are not maybe cognizant of the fact that it's a JFF's program that would have made them into whom they are. A number of them still don't show appreciation to their parish programs, to their little under 13 coach. A number of them don't even seem to remember that it's football that would have made me who I am. And if they would just think again and say, let me show some regard and some respect and some thanks to a JFF that would have provided me an opportunity, then probably the relationship would be different. Well, the JFF would certainly, and like I've said, we're not infallible. So finances and the availability or the unavailability of funding certainly would cause us some pain.
What we have now, we have further discomfort, further issues with the Reggae Girlz, where you have, like, for example, Sidela Marley step aside now. Yes, because I was hoping that she continued to try to get the things done amicably. So yes, but I must also agree with that if people been trying to help you and you really in some way don't really, seems like, and I want to clearly say, seems like you want the assistance, then some way, somebody gonna step aside. President, he shared that with, well, if that is what the case is, he will the person who know that. But what we know is that based on what been happening here now, there wasn't any form of that trying at any time close. Because if there's some way you're gonna work out the issues, why we just put them aside? Why didn't we have the meetings that really stated to have? Why we still have outstanding, even although we select a new team, why we still have the issue? No, I am not saying that, because as you're aware, football is here to stay. Whosoever, whenever, football will be here to stay. So what needs to be done now? From our side as the Raymond and this team, we know that there's work to be done. We know that work to be done from grassroots up. Now the base is really getting swinking. So we need to get the base broadened to ensure that we can pyramid up. Not saying that we're not going to look in the diaspora for players, because we know that the football have to, wherever, home and abroad, wherever the Jamaicans are, they are part of the program. And I want to get that clearly. But in Jamaica, we need to fix the base. that we can really have more people playing the football. And if more people play the football, we have more people to select from whichever grassroots up and the senior peak team. So that I think we really want to spend some time on grassroots up. Listen, again, I'm not saying that is why I use the word amicably, because at the table, a dispute, a labor dispute, you might have workers versus management. At the end of the day, the workers need management, management need workers. Whosoever wrong is not important to me now. What is really should happen is the amicable solution. Because if we're serious about Jamaica, we need to move the football and move it from personality clash and move it to something that's workable. And every time I will die with this word, amicable solution. But I feel bad because I believe again that whatever we have, whatever problems that we have, again, I'm not saying because I believe in transparency, I'm not saying that the public not supposed to know what's going on. But I believe also that the table should be the first place that we try to resolve all of these matters. And one of the things that I think lacking, see, because of the contractual arrangement, we must just stick to the contracts. I'm telling you, my 10-year tenure, we want to win the World Cup. And how we're going to do it? We want, again, based on from grassroots help. We definitely have to ensure that we fix the base so possible. And if you looked at the roadmap, it's possible. Even though I remember everybody was saying one of the best team on paper was who? In the CONCACAF region. You remember anyone saying that? One of the best team on paper was Jamaican Reggae Boyz. So tell me now, if you have the best team on paper, why you can't have the best team on the field? Grassroots level, we want to start the educational. We want some of our best coach at the grassroots level, because that is where our best coach, that is where we're going to retrain and train those players. We're going to let them enjoy themselves at like 7 years and plan them, put them in the skill set, teach them how the direction and the culture start right there. Now if we bring them there, bring all of those through the school system, through the club system, with the type of coaching that we have, because we have a lot of coaches, right? So what we need to do is just ensure that the coaches, the management side of the football, the infrastructural side of the football, the nutritional side of the football, and the financial side of the football move together. That people been saying that that is happening, but nobody advised me fully on that. And well, I'm just saying, what I can easily say that if Beat Soccer believe that they are disenfranchised, and if Beat Soccer try to use all the avenues that they can, and they are getting nowhere. They are an organization, so they just need to get justice wherever they want to get it. But for me, I'll encourage them to really try to use the process, use the system to really get justice. My chance is great, very great. And I can tell you that what's been happening now is the other side is losing them by the day. Because the calls that I've been getting, I am even more confident as I stand here before you that my chances is very, very great. 10. But again, it's because how I feel and how I looked at my team, and I don't see the doubt. I don't see the doubt there. And when I speak to the stakeholders, I feel the trust. And I think that the stakeholders are the delegates going to vote with conscience. They're going to vote with conscience, and they're going to vote with reasons, because they saw what's been happening for the past 6 years. So if they give me the chance, they know what I stand for. They saw me in action several times, and they know what they expect from me. My response to that is that I have respect for everyone in football. And because of that is why I've been able to work with 5 presidents. And that is why I'm able to really look at all the presidents and what they can offer, and look at what I can offer at this time. And where we're at now, respect is great, but what we have for the football now is that we need to move from just respect and get somewhere done.